I'm Mark Skilton from Capgemini. I'm a Global Director for outsourcing, but also focusing on working with the Open Group. Open Group is an open standards global forum which has many companies represented in it, and essentially what we're doing is that focusing on cloud computing is one of the areas that this group focuses on developing standards for the industry. So what we've been doing lately is looking at probably 4 areas. We've been looking at the business impact of the cloud, because we see there's a gap in the market, we believe, in terms of the conversation about what does cloud mean to you as a business person. And as I said, 3 other areas: the cloud reference architecture, the cloud security issues and standards, and also about service orientation in the cloud. You know, what happens with services as they move into the cloud. One thing we have done that we're going to talk about is a paper that the Open Group have published called Cloud ROI, 8 Ways of Getting Value from the Cloud. So I'll keep talking about that just briefly. Is that what we found is that there's the very famous, we call it the Amazon icon. This is, what I mean by that is the utilization curve that we see so many times mentioned about the cloud, is where you can get on-demand, pay-as-you-go, elastic properties of a utility type service. But we think that's actually underselling what the cloud potentially could do. Essentially, there are other things that the cloud can do which are much more business orientated, business related, not just efficiency and utilization curves. So what we've done in this paper is free to download from theopengroup.org bookstore. If you go there, I'm sure we can send a link out after this. It'll give you 8 other ways of measuring value and focusing on where value you could bring cloud to your organization. So really, just to summarize those into 4 areas, is the time compression. It constantly amazes me just how fast you can provision and procure cloud type services, infrastructure, software, and even business services. The other thing is the rate of change. So when programs and big companies, particularly not just small to medium-sized enterprises, what we're seeing is potentially large companies that have to transform their organizations to get some of the benefits of the cloud, or indeed to address a business challenge they've got. Cloud can be a way of fast-tracking that change, because you can go into a cloud environment and move much faster because of the agile properties. The other area, as I said, is that we can look at profiling the cost assets, the profile of your application assets or your server costs. You can use cloud as a way of dissecting that and getting a better control of the cost of your assets and licenses. And then finally, the couple of other areas is really looking at your workloads, your cost associated workloads, and your compliance issues, your security issues. It's almost like counterintuitive. We hear a lot about security in the cloud, but essentially where we're seeing companies that are successfully adopting the cloud, either in-house, private, or as a combination of external and internal, called hybrid, is where they can actually address the type of security issues of compliance, tracking and auditing, the multiple sort of monitoring of the SLAs and things like that. Once they've got through that kind of cultural and pain barrier and understood what can be done and what data does belong in that cloud environment, not all data, they then get the benefits of the cloud because of the low cost structure behind that, the continuous innovation and improvement that it can bring to you. So I think it's really exciting, many areas that we can talk about.